Okay, everybody, come on. Tell me what are the essentials of a valid contract? Two parties, offer and acceptance, intention to create legal obligation. Next, lawful consideration. Then, capacity of the parties. Then, free and genuine consent. Next, lawful object. Then, agreement not declared void. Next, certainty and possibility of performance and other legal formalities. Okay, so one of the objects, which is this legality of the object, where the consideration or the object is unlawful, what happens to the agreement? It is void. When will it be void? In these 5 cases, correct? What are they? First one, if it is forbidden by law. Second, if it is of such a nature that it would defeat, if permitted, it would defeat the provisions of law. Next one, it is fraudulent. Next, it involves or implies injury to any person or property. And last one, immoral or opposed to public policy. Correct? If it is forbidden by law, means it is against law. Correct? If it is against law, can you make it valid? No, the object is unlawful. Correct? Next one, if it is of such a nature, if permitted, it would defeat the provisions of law. Means what? Directly what law has done? Directly put a prohibition. Indirect prohibition nahi hai. Does that mean you can do it? No. For example, land revenue is not paid. Government will send the notice and this land will be auctioned. In that auction, who cannot take part? The owner of the land cannot take part. He tells his friend, you take part, take the land and sell it back to me again. Is this arrangement valid? Not valid. Because if this was permitted, matlab if friends taking part in the auction was permitted, it would defeat the whole purpose of the provision that the owner cannot take part. Correct? While you are entering into an agreement, can the debtor tell the creditor, please give this loan to me. We will never raise an objection about 3 years law of limitation. Can they give this, put this as a condition? No, it is not valid because we are going against the law. Ek to forbidden by law. And secondly also, if it was permitted, we would defeat the provision. 3 years jo diya hua hai, we will defeat it. Correct? Next one, if it is fraudulent. So to promote fraud, any such agreements are void. ABC have come together and their intention is to collect money from people and run away. Is this a good object? No, it is regarded as if it is fraudulent. Correct? Next one, where it involves or implies injury to a person or to property. So the master tells the servant, this 10,000 rupees loan that you have taken, either repay it with 100% interest in the next 10 days itself, or else be my slave for your entire life. There is an injury caused to him as a person and to his property as well. This is a void agreement. Correct? One more example we had seen here. What was it? Open your notebook. 4 दिन हो गए, याद नहीं है. Smuggling activities, that was for the last one, no? क्या था? Defamatory, libel. Correct? याद आया? Yes, because just one person hates another person. He tells his friend who is a reporter, publish a defamatory article on him. Such kind of agreement, is this valid? No, because it is injury to that person or to his property. Correct? And last one is what? Object or consideration is immoral or opposed to public policy. Agreement to trade with an enemy, stifling prosecution, maintenance and champati where the intention is malicious. All of these agreements are void. Correct? What happens once again? Where the consideration or object is unlawful. When does it happen? In how many cases? 5 cases. What are they? Forbidden by law, such a nature that, if permitted, it would defeat the provisions of law. Next, fraudulent, then injury to person or property and or opposed to public policy. Okay, where legal acts and illegal acts are separable. Legal acts will be valid or void? Valid. Illegal acts will be void. Where they are not separable, then the whole thing only is going to be void. Correct? In case of reciprocal promises, to do certain set of promises first, and if under certain circumstances to do another set. What happens? Which the part which is legal, first set which is legal will be valid, second part will be void, correct? I will give my house on rent to you for 20,000 rupees. But if you carry out smuggling activities, the rent will be 50,000 rupees. 20,000 ka rent ka agreement is valid, 50,000 will be void, correct? Next one, alternative promises means where the promisor agrees to do one or more things, any of which will satisfy the promisee, it is regarded as if the legal part will be valid, illegal part will be void. A agrees to give 10,000 to B, in turn B agrees to give him maybe 5 kgs rice or 10 kgs of wheat or 1 kgs of OPM. To give rice or wheat is valid, to give OPM is going to be void. And last one, where object or consideration is unlawful even in part. Two things can happen over here, consideration and object. There can be one consideration and several objects, or there can be several considerations and one object. इसमें से कुछ भी चीज अगर unlawful रहा, the whole agreement only is void. What's the example? Sugar factory and drugs, correct. So a manager is appointed, the owner tells the manager, in the daytime you supervise sugar factory, in the night time supervise my drug business as well. In दोनों को मिलाकर I will give you 50,000 rupees. What has happened over here? Consideration is one and objects are several. Part of the object is unlawful, whole transaction only is unlawful. Or there is another possibility where he says you supervise the sugar business, for which I will give you 20,000 cash and 1 kg of drugs. Over here, there is single object, but there are several considerations and it is unlawful in part. The whole thing only is unlawful, correct? Next one, agreement opposed to public policy means what? Definition है क्या इसका? नहीं. Meaning है क्या? Yes, means what? Agreement that is harmful for the public welfare. So something which the public does not see as a good example, correct? Now because it is not defined, it had got a wider scope of meaning. So any judge who wouldn't like this agreement would say it is opposed to public policy, and nobody can tell anything because definition ही नहीं है. So इससे the problem was that the contractual obligations of the party was being reduced. They could not enter into contracts that they wanted, because it could have been opposed to public policy. So that's why the judges have decided more or less they will stick to this list of agreements which are treated as opposed to public policy. First agreement is trading with an enemy. एक तो an enemy for us is an incompetent person. Entering into this transaction also is not considered as if it is welfare for the public, because we have a country who's fighting with us and we are supplying goods to that country, correct? Does not make sense. It is an agreement opposed to public policy. Second one is stifling prosecution. Stifling prosecution means suppressing prosecution, suppressing a legal action, correct? Where a person has committed any crime, should he be punished? Yes. If by an agreement you are not making him get the punishment, in turn he is going to give something back to you. You are suppressing a legal action that could have been taken on him, right? This is not valid, okay? There was a robber who stole 10 lakh worth goods from a particular house. That person says, return the goods back to me. I will not take you to the police, not file a suit on you. Is this arrangement valid? No, because it doesn't give a good example to the public. Public को this, what message reaches the public is that तुम चोरी कर लो, जब भी पकड़े जाओगे return it back. है ना? So you will never go to jail then. So it is not a good, nothing for welfare of the public. So it is not valid, correct? Now where you want to settle some agreements, that is called as a compromise of certain issues, you are allowed to do so. But you are allowed to do so only for those transactions which are what? Which are compoundable. How will you know whether they are compoundable or not? They are given in CRPC. So if your agreement is allowed and falls within that list, are you allowed to compound or settle this agreement? Yes. Other than that, is there anything that you can settle? No. So we had spoken about Sanjay Dutt ka case as well. No one killed Jessica ka case as well, correct? So where that gun was hidden by the friends Will friends also be held liable? Yes, because they are suppressing a legal action. They should have told that this fellow has killed, but did they do that? No. So they are suppressing, stifling prosecution. Any such agreements are void. Is this clear? Next one, maintenance and champati means what? Where a person is giving an assistance. Either it can be financial or any other assistance. And when he is giving the assistance, why is he doing that? So that that person can bring or defend a suit. Correct? What was the example? Brother giving money to the seller. Why? Because the seller wanted to file a suit on the buyer. Why did he want to file a suit? Because the buyer did not pay the price. Did the seller have a legal right to receive the price? Yes. Did he have the money to file a suit? No. So this arrangement where the brother has given the money to the seller is called as a maintenance, or it can be called as champati, dependent upon what? Sharing of benefit. So where the brother tells him, जो भी ये केस का डिसीजन रहेगा, if suppose this goes in your favor 5 crore rupees you will recover, out of that give me 10%, this will be champati. No problem, don't give me anything, just return my loan back to me, will be maintenance. So maintenance is not, maintenance and champati ka difference is there is sharing of benefit. Is maintenance and champati valid? Yes. Does it mean that अगर तुम्हारे पास पैसा नहीं है सूट फाइल करने का, can you take a loan from somebody? Yes. That this says that it is valid. But when will it be void? Where the intention of the seller here, or intention of the brother is malicious. Why did the brother ask the seller to file a suit on the buyer? Because the brother wants to annoy the buyer. Correct? So intention is malicious, it will not be valid, right? But see over here, unless these two things happen, maintenance champati will not be valid. Which means it is void in these two cases. First case is where it is unreasonable, so that it is unjust to the other party, or where there is a malicious motive. Correct? So I think learned this sentence as well. In litigation or oppressing other party by encouraging unrighteous suits and not with a bona fide object of assisting a claim that was believed to be fair. Correct? So has the brother supported the seller? Is because the brother wanted to annoy. So righteous suit nahi tha ye, unrighteous suit tha. Correct? And he didn't give money just to support the claim. It was unfair to the buyer. That's why he had given money. It is not valid. Correct? Are you getting this? But prima facie, normally maintenance and champati is what? Valid or void? It is valid. Correct? Next one, trafficking for public offices and titles. Giving money to get a job, giving money to get an award. Is this valid? Not valid. It is regarded as if, again, public doesn't see it as a good example, because it only means if you have the money, you can get the job. Means it does not depend whether you are actually qualified or not to get the job. Correct? So any government job that you are getting or government title that you are purchasing, this will not be valid. Yes or no? Yes? Okay. Next one. Agreement tending to create a monopoly. Can we provide goods and good services that people want to buy only from us? Yes, we are making a monopoly for ourselves. Can we do that? Yes, sir. But where you are giving or creating a monopoly, that will not be valid, right? So this MLA tells that in this whole area, there will be only this particular vegetable vendor. Creating monopoly like this, is it valid? No, because law regards competition as if it is good, so that healthy, correct, so that the janta gets a good benefit. Okay. Next one, marriage brokerage agreements. Paying any brokerage to get married, is this valid? No. No. है ना? Again, kuch to bhi you will tell Garbar. Again, we will go back to the old discussions. One whole class we discussed only on marriage. Okay. Paying money or paying anything as a brokerage to find a bride or find a groom, is this valid? No. What about matrimonial sites? Are they valid? Yes, because the fees that you pay over there is not brokerage. It is the registration fee. Correct? So marriage brokerage agreements are void. Next one, interference with the course of justice. Where a minister calls the judge and tells, this fellow has committed suicide. Murder. This fellow has committed a murder. He is going to come to the court, but you do not give the decision that he is the person who is guilty. अगर ऐसा रहा, is this correct? No, because you are interfering with the course of justice. You should allow the justice to take its course, and the person who has committed a crime has to be punished. Correct? What is this then? What else? Okay, witness. Correct. Okay, ये simple है ना? ये examples लिखे हुए थे यहाँ पे. Okay, next one. Creating an interest against an obligation or a duty. Right? What was the example? Tender. That manager की wife tells, give the tender to my brother. Otherwise, don't come home only, है ना? So over here, even though the money, the tender जो brother दिया था, that was for a very high price. If you are making the manager give the tender to him, it will be void, correct? Because what should the manager do while giving a tender? He should see what is in the best interest for the company, not personally, है ना? So it is his duty to do something that is best interest for the company. But if you are putting an obligation on him that he should do something which has an interest for him, then it will be void. Next one is consideration or object that is unlawful even in part. So this we discussed just few minutes back, right? So how many agreements which we have opposed to public policy? 9. First one is enemy. Next one. Next one. Next. Next. Then. Next. 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 In part. Okay. This unit, is it clear? Unit 7. What is it? List of void agreements. So if our agreement satisfies all the essentials but falls in this list, what is the effect of it? It is void. How many agreements do we have? 11 agreements. First one is what? Agreement by incompetent parties. Next one, made under bilateral mistake. Next one, where object or consideration is unlawful. Next one, it's unlawful in part. Next one, any agreement made without consideration. Next, in restraint of marriage. Next, restraint of trade. Then restraint of legal proceeding. Then meaning is uncertain. Next one, wager. Next one, contingent on impossible events. And last one, to do impossible acts. All of these are void, correct? Half of them we've seen already. Few we are going to see right now. Agreement in restraint of marriage. What's the effect? It is void. It means what? No person can stop another person from getting married to a person of his or her own choice, correct? Except for a minor. Can you stop a minor? Yes. Next one, very important. Agreement in restraint of trade means what? No, listen. In restraint of trade means nobody can stop another person from carrying out any 3 things. Trade, profession or vocation, wherever they want to in whole of the country. Any such restraint is going to be void. Means what? Restraint is not valid means what? It's void means what? In simple terms, means what? Restriction is not valid, matlab can he carry out that profession? Yes, they are allowed to, but there are exceptions. How many exceptions? 5 exceptions. Just the heading ones. First is sale of goodwill. Next one, partners agreements. Then trade combination. Next, service contracts, and last, sole selling agents agreement. So sale of goodwill. What example did we see? Creamstone. So Creamstone has sold its business to a buyer who and the buyer has paid a goodwill. Who puts a restriction on whom? Buyer puts a restriction on the seller for these 3 things. First is not to carry out similar business. Next one, not to carry out within the specified local limits. And third, as long as the buyer derives title. So if the buyer is putting this restriction, is the restriction valid? Yes, it is valid, provided all of these are reasonable, correct? Partners agreements, we can read the restraints under these 5 points. First is what? When you are a partner here, do not carry out any other business. Is this valid? Yes. Next one, restriction on an outgoing partner not to carry out similar business. Valid? Yes. Next one is for in anticipation of dissolution. Who is agreeing not to carry out the business? All or some of the partners are agreeing. Is that valid? Yes. Next 2 points are with respect to sale of goodwill. Point number 4. Sale of goodwill has happened and the buyer has put or not put? Not put restriction on the seller. Then this seller partnership firm, it can do these 2 things. Can do what? Carry out similar business and advertise, but cannot do these 3 things. Use the firm name, represent himself as carrying out the business of the firm, and last one is solicit customers. In the 5th case, where sale of goodwill is involved and the buyer has put a restriction, then cannot carry out similar business and cannot or kya hai? Within specified local limits and specified period, correct? All these will be valid provided they are reasonable. Hai na? Next one, trade combination is what? Is it valid or void? Valid. Cartels are what? Cartels are void. Why are cartels void? Because their intention is to exploit customers, correct? In case of trade combinations, why is this group coming together? To educate each other, correct? Either to educate each other or to regulate the business, provide information to each other. This will be valid, correct? Service contracts ka jo bhi restriction hai, we will read it under 2 heads. First restriction is during employment. Second is after employment. While you are working with me, you cannot work elsewhere. Is this restriction valid? Yes. Even after you leave my employment, you cannot work elsewhere. Is this valid? No. Why is the second one not valid? Why is it not valid? Because it is considered as if the employer is putting the restriction to avoid competition. Avoiding competition. Ever government isko recognize karega kya? No. Competition is healthy. Government wants competition. Correct? Law wants competition. So any restriction after leaving the employment is not valid. But in one case it will be valid. That case is if there is a possibility that employer has taught everything to the employee and the trade secrets leak. To protect the employer, this restraint will be valid. Again, provided it is for a reasonable period. Correct? Can employer-employee enter into any bond? Yes. Training hone ke baad 1 year you have to work with me only. Is this valid? Yes, it is valid. Why? Because so much resources put on the training. Uska use milna chahiye employer ko. Are you getting this? Yes. Okay. Next one. Sole selling agents agreements. Are they also valid? Yes. So sole selling agent means how many agents are there for the company? Only one. So you should allow him to sell only your goods. If he is selling some other company's goods as well, then it is problem for you because he is your only agent. So can you put a restraint on him not to carry out or trade in any other goods? Yes, it will be valid. Correct? How many restraints are valid? 5 restraints. They are sale of goodwill is involved, partners agreements, trade combination, service agreements, and sole selling agents agreements. Okay. Next one is agreement in restraint of trade. Sorry, restraint of legal proceeding. Over here we cover only and only 2 types of agreements. First is what? Agreement restricting enforcement of right, and second is agreement curtailing period of limitation. Restricting enforcement of a right. We are talking only about one right. Every person has got a right to seek justice. By an agreement, if you tell him that in case of any dispute, you can't go to the court. What about this clause? This is a void clause. This is a void restraint. Means even in case of dispute, can he go to the court? Yes. ABC are partners. They enter into partnership. They have made a big 10 pages ka deed. One of the clause says, in case of any dispute, we are not going to the court. Is the clause valid or void? Void. What about the partnership? Valid or void? Partnership is valid. Only that clause is going to be void. Matlab, can he still go to the court? Yes, he can. Correct? Next one is what? Agreement curtailing period of limitation. While you are entering into a contract, debtor says, let us make the creditor says, let us make 3 years as 6 months. Is this valid? No. Debtor says, let us make 3 years as 10 years. That is valid? No. So can you change the period of limitation? No. 3 years is fixed. It is given by the Limitation Act. You cannot change it. Correct? The fact that creditor cannot recover anything for 3 years, but he can recover if another condition is satisfied. That is, when the debt becomes a time-barred debt. What has the debtor done? Given in writing and he has signed. Only then the creditor can recover. Correct? So time-barred debt hone ke baad only you can enter that agreement and then he can recover. Correct? We had seen some points over here as well. No going to the court. Is this clause a valid clause actually? No. but no going to the court, but we can go for arbitration. Is this clause a valid clause? Yes. Which type of matters can you go to arbitrator for? Either any existing disputes or even any future disputes, correct? So those disputes or questions which have already arisen or which can arise in future, it will be valid, of course, provided it is in writing, correct? Next one, agreement, the meaning of which is uncertain, is void. If it is not capable of being made certain also, it is void, correct? I will sell my phone for a reasonable price. What is this? Valid or void? Void, correct? For 40 or 50,000. This is also void. I will sell it at a market price. Is this valid? Yes, it is. Market price is valid because go to the market, find the price, correct? What about I will sell all the grains in my godown? Valid or void? This is valid. Why? Grains can be 5 kgs or 500 kgs. Even though it is not certain, it is capable of being made certain. Go and see in the godown how much grains are there, correct? I will buy your Activa. The price to be determined by your mechanic. Is this also valid? Yes, it is. Even though it's not certain right now, it is capable of being made certain, correct? Next one is a wager. Wager ka effect in whole of India is that it is void. In Maharashtra and Gujarat it is illegal. Essentials of wager. These 5 points to be satisfied. Firstly, promise to pay money or money's worth. Next is based on an event which happens or does not happen. Next one, uncertain event. Next one, each party wins or lose, and okay, no other interest except other than betting, correct? Interest in subject matter nahi hai, but only it is a betting agreement, correct? So effect is this. What about Maharashtra and Gujarat ka collateral transactions? They also become illegal because the main transaction only is illegal. What about collateral transactions other than Maharashtra and Gujarat? They will not be affected, correct? There was a question also that explain few types of transactions which are similar to wager. So see what are they? First is lottery. Is lottery a wager? Actually speaking, yes it is. What is the effect? It is void. But if the lottery is a state-sponsored lottery, then it is going to be valid, correct? So lottery ka meaning you will have to write and the effect of this, okay? Next one, chit fund. Chit fund is what? Valid or void? It is valid. What happens in chit fund? Everyone will pay a fixed sum of money and the lucky winner is going to get all of that money, correct? Next one is what? Share market transactions, also called as speculative transactions. Are these valid? Yes, they are valid because you are taking fayda of the movement of prices in the market, and what is happening is delivery of these shares is happening in your account, correct? Next one is what? Competitions. Competitions, are they valid? Yes, because they involve skill and it is not a game of chance, correct? But we have certain restrictions here. Prize money should not exceed how much? 1000 rupees. Horse race transactions, are they valid? Yes, provided the prize money is at least 500 rupees. Contract of insurance, is this wager? Not a wager. Contract of insurance is a contingent contract. What is the effect of it? It is valid. How is it different from a wager? First is always the meaning. Meaning of wager is what? Okay, first contingent, first insurance and then wager. Meaning of insurance is what? Contract to indemnify the other person, correct? What about wager? Promise to pay money or money's worth on happening or non-happening of a uncertain event. What is the effect of contingent contract? It is valid. Sorry, effect of insurance is that it is valid. Effect of wager is what? Void in whole of India and Maharashtra and Gujarat it is illegal, correct? Because we are talking about the effect, we can also have another difference of for the collateral effect, collateral transaction as well, correct? Then talk about another point. What about insurance? Is it beneficial to the public? Yes, it is. What about wager? Is it beneficial? Not beneficial, correct? Interest in the subject matter. Insurance mein hai ya nahi hai? Hey, if there is a fire in my factory, I will save whatever goods I can, correct? In wager, I don't care about the rain. Why I care about the rain is only because I am going to win that 100 rupees, correct? Next point is what? Premium. The amount, 100 rupees is fixed in case of wager. In case of insurance, it is dependent upon what? Scientific and actuarial calculation of risk. Correct? Itna hi hai na? Any other difference? kya? Mutual consideration. In insurance there is mutual consideration, but in case of what is it, wager, it is only gambling of money. Agar one hua to one person will give to the other, nahi hua to this one is going to give. Okay, clear? Ek baar just quickly see the differences once again. Okay, the next type of contracts, two types of contracts, what are they? Contingent contract and quasi contract. What is a contingent contract? To do or not to do something if the collateral event does or does not happen. How many essentials we have for contingent contract? 4 essentials. What are they? First one, the event is collateral. Collateral event is uncertain. Uncertain means depends on happening or non-happening of an event. And last, it does not depend upon the will of the parties. Correct? Promisor. Yes. What was the example over here? I will purchase 100 laptops from you if the purchase manager, the managing director gives his consent. So if he gives the consent, then only 100 laptops purchase is going to happen. Giving consent is the collateral transaction. Main transaction is purchase of laptops. Correct? Do you remember the swimming pool example as well? Yes. So for 80%, for 20% pool to be constructed, 50% payment to be done. For 80% pool to be constructed, 100% payment to be done. Is this a contingent contract? No. Why? Because there is no collateral event only over here. Construction of pool is bound to happen. This is only a way, a method in which payment is done. Correct? Few other examples we had seen which are similar only. Talk about the rules relating to contingent contract. First rule is contingent contract dependent upon happening of a future uncertain event. When can it be enforced? When that event happens. When will it become void? When that event does not happen. Next one, dependent upon non-happening of a future uncertain event. When can you enforce it? When that event does not happen. When does it become void? When that event happens. Next one, based on future conduct of a living person. When can you enforce? When he acts according to the contract. When does it become void? When he does not act according to the contract. Fourth point is the same happening, non-happening within a fixed time. And last one is what? Dependent upon impossible event. When will it be enforceable? Never. Always void. When will it become void? It is always void. Correct? Do you remember the examples as well? Yes, A promises to give 10,000 to B. If B gets married to C, when can this contract be enforced? Only if B gets married to C. Before that, if B gets married to D, can you enforce this? No, it has become void. Correct? Ship sinking ka example also we have seen with time limit also and impossible as well. Correct? Next one, quasi-contract. Acha, contingent and wager. Same differences that we saw for insurance, similar we have for this as well. Hai na? But ek baar see in the order. First one is meaning. Meaning of contingent we did know and meaning of wager, that whole definition. Correct? Next one is the effect. What is the effect of contingent? Valid. Wager ka effect is void. Next one is uncertain event. Uncertain is collateral. Over there, uncertain is the core factor. Correct? Next one will be mutual loss and gain. So this is not based on win and lose, but wager is based on win and lose. Next difference is what? Reciprocal promises. Contingent contract में नहीं रह सकता है, but in wager there is reciprocal promises. Next difference is interest. The subject matter में interest which contract वाले people will have? Contingent contract, but in wager there is no such interest. And last one is what? Contingent may or may not be wager, but wager involves contingency. Okay? Next one is quasi contract. We had by-hearted some sentences, है ना? Quasi contract is what? Law implies a promise imposing obligation on one party and right in favor of the other, even though there is no offer, no acceptance, no consent, no consideration, etc. So court regards them as relations which are resembling those of contracts and enforces as if they are contracts. So this quasi-contract lies on principles of equity and justice, or principle doctrine of unjust enrichment. No person can enrich himself at the cost of another person. If he enriches himself, he will have to compensate or return those goods back. Correct? There are how many types of quasi-contracts? 5 types of quasi-contract. Ek second. What are the salient features of quasi-contract? Firstly, it involves a right to money. Next one, it doesn't arise because of an agreement. It is imposed by law. Third one is, right is against particular person, not against the whole world. Correct? 5 types of quasi-contract. First one is supply of necessaries. To whom? To any incompetent person or to his dependents. So those people whom he is legally bound to support, what can the good man do now? He can recover it from the estate of the incompetent person. Correct? Second case, payment by an interested person. So what has happened over here? The person who is interested in the payment, but the other person has made the payment. Sorry, no, he only has made the payment, but who was bound to make the payment? Other person. Now, since he made the payment, the other person has to compensate him. What was the example? The land revenue. Correct? Tenant paid it, but who had to pay it? The owner. Z had to pay it. Correct? Now, who should reimburse whom? Z has to reimburse the tenant, because how many conditions are satisfied? 3 conditions. They are: first is protection of one's interest. Next is not a voluntary one, and last one, other party was bound by law to pay. Correct? Next one is payment for non-gratuitous act. A non-gratuitous act means that act done with or without consideration. With consideration. Correct? Example is mango basket example. So where we have eaten the mangoes, do we have to compensate? Yes, because how many conditions are satisfied? 3 conditions. First is the act is done lawfully. Second, the person doing it does not intend to do it gratuitously. And last one, person for whom the act has done has enjoyed the benefit. Correct? Yaad aa raha hai na? Okay, next one, responsibility of finder of the goods. So finder is like the bailee. He sees the goods and he walks away. Is that okay? Is he called the finder then? No. He sees the goods and takes it into his custody. Is he the finder now? Yes. His responsibilities are same like the bailee. So for the whole building where he got this puppy home, can he act as if he is the owner? Yes, except against the true owner. Correct? This finder will have 3 rights. What are the rights? Right of lien, right to sue, right to resell. Right of lien can be exercised in how many cases? 2 cases. First is lawful compensation not paid or reward money not paid. Right of suit can be exercised in how many cases? 1 case. What is that? Reward money not paid. And right of resell can be exercised in how many cases? 4 cases. First case is the goods are perishable. Second case, the lawful charges are more than 2/3 of the value of the thing. Next one is owner is not found. And next one, owner is found but he does not agree to take the goods back. Correct? That puppy, you remember, he ate only pedigree, hai na? 7,000 rupees ka pedigree khaya wo. Correct? So 7,000 rupees is lawful charges. Reward money tha newspaper mein 20,000 rupees. So can he recover that 20 as well? Yes, he can. If suppose the owner is not found at all, market value of the dog is 8,000 rupees. Can he sell this? Yes. Why? Because it is more than 2/3 of the value. Correct? 8,000 ka 2/3, how much ever it is, that is less than 7,000 rupees. So he can sell it. Correct? Next one is what? Last one. Mistake or coercion. If 2 things happen under mistake or coercion, what are the 2 things? Money that is paid or goods that are delivered by mistake or under coercion have to be returned back or repaid back. Correct? A and B are partners. They take a loan from the money lender. They tell him just one day we'll return it back tomorrow. In the morning A returns it. In the evening B returns it. Can money lender keep that entire 10 lakh rupees? No. He will have to return it because it was paid by mistake. Correct? Actually speaking, it is a unilateral mistake. है ना? Unilateral mistake का effect क्या है? It is valid. Correct? Exam timings are what? 1 to 4. If you go to write at 2 o'clock, you will have to submit the paper at 4 o'clock only. Correct? Unilateral mistake is valid. But this unilateral mistake will not be valid. You will have to return the money. Why? Because it is expressly given. Money paid. or goods delivered under mistake or coercion has to be returned back. Okay? Is quasi-contract different from a regular contract? Yes, it is. The obligations in regular contract are created by the parties themselves. They enter into with the consent. But in quasi-contract, there is no such consent. The law imposes it. So, essentials in regular contract are present, but in quasi-contract, they are absent. Is this clear? Yes. Good morning, everyone. So, this is the 9th unit revision, performance of a contract. So, till now, they were all the essentials of a contract which are required for contract to be formed. This is for a contract to be performed, correct? Yes or no? Yeah. What do you mean by performance of a contract? It means fulfillment of obligations that a contract has created, correct? There are two types of performance. There is actual performance and attempted performance. Attempted performance also called as offer to perform, also called as a tender. What do you mean by actual performance? Whatever the parties had undertaken to do, they have done it. And what do you mean by attempted performance? Promisor offers to perform his promise, but the promisee refuses to accept it. So where the coal supplier takes the coal and goes to the factory owner does not accept it. Coal supplier has performed his obligation. He is treated as if he is discharged. And because there is a breach of the contract now, he also can exercise his remedies. Hai na? For a tender to be a valid tender, these 4 conditions are to be satisfied. First is it should be unconditional. Next, it should be made at a proper time and proper place. Next, opportunity should be given to examine the goods. And last one, it should be for the whole obligation. Correct? What do you mean by tender to be unconditional? It should not be with any conditions. Correct? But better words were what? It should be in accordance with the terms of the contract. Correct? Next one, it should be made at a proper time and proper place. At what place should it be made at? As agreed as in the contract. Proper time means 2 types of time. Within a reasonable time and in the business hours. Correct? So can the coal supplier take the coal and go at night 12 o'clock? No, he can't, because it is not the usual hours of business. Hai na? Next one, it should be given. Reasonable opportunity to the buyer has to be given to the promisee, because only then he will know what he has asked for. Did he get those goods? Correct? And last one is, it should be for the whole obligation. You are required to supply 1000 tons of coal. You have supplied only 50 tons of coal. Is this regarded as a valid tender? No, it should always be for the whole obligation. Correct? Buyer asks for 10 computers. The seller supplies 10 better wale laptops. Is this a valid tender? But same price mein usko better mil raha hai. Is this a valid tender? No. It should be exactly as it is, as per the terms of the contract. Okay? ABC are joint promisors, and tender, when it is made by the other person, to whom can it be made? A, B and C. Kisko kar sakta hai tender? Any person, either A or B or C, because they are joint promisors, hai na? They act for each other. So tender made to any one of the joint promisors is regarded as a valid tender. Correct? We wrote something over here as well in the last class. Section 39 talks about what? Effect of. Upper notes mein likhe the. What is it? Arohi example. Correct. What is it? Effect of refusal of a party to perform the promise wholly. So see, we are not talking here about implied acceptance, because this is not the time where we are entering into a contract. This is the time during performance. So where the whole contract is not being performed, what can the other party do? Is he can put an end to the contract, correct? But if by his words or by his act, he allows the continuation of the contract, has the contract ended now? No. So Arohi promised to sing for 2 nights every week for maybe 2 months. This was the contract. So how will the performance of the contract be done? 2 nights every week for 2 months, correct? After 1 month, she willfully absents herself. So because she has not come to the contract, what can the manager do? resign the contract, correct? But if he does not resign, the next night when she comes, she directly comes and starts singing. He could have told her not to come, correct? But did he tell that? No. So by his conduct, he has allowed the continuation of the contract, the performance here. So can he put an end to the contract right now? No. So where he allows the continuation, he cannot resign the contract. Is this clear? Yes? Okay. Next one. Who should perform a contract? Promiser should perform it, correct? If Amitabh has promised to act in a movie, who should act? Amitabh only. Can he send Abhishek? Aaj I am not available. Can he send him? No, he cannot. Why? Because this is a contract of personal nature. Should be performed by the promiser himself, correct? If it is not of a personal nature, then it can be performed by an agent, because when an agent is acting, he is acting for the principal, correct? अगर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में एंटर हुआ है promiser and he dies and it is not of a personal nature, then his legal representative as well, correct? How about a third person? Can he also perform a contract? Yes, where the promiser accepts or where a third person ka performance is accepted by the other party, can the other party claim performance from that other party now? No. Engineer example. Engineer has taken a loan. He is unable to repay it. Who repays it now? His father repays it. Can the bank claim performance from the engineer again? No, because bank has accepted the performance from the father, correct? So where the performance is accepted from a third person, it cannot be enforced against that promiser. याद आया ये अभी? Okay, and last one, what? In case of joint promisers, how should the contract be performed? Joint promisers के केस में how should the contract be performed? It should be performed jointly, है ना? And अगर वो लोग लुढ़क गए, then by their legal representatives along with the surviving partners, joint promisers, correct? The same topic explained in detail again with another head called as devolution. Okay. Liability of joint promisor and promisee. Better heading is devolution of joint liabilities. We read this as there are how many cases? Or under 5 points, है ना? Whoever are the joint promisers, what should they do? They will be jointly liable, correct? In our example, A, B, C together have to pay money to the money lender, Mr. X. And how much they have to pay? 15 lakhs. So in what ratio are they going to contribute this? Agreed ratio. अगर agreed ratio कुछ नहीं रहा, then profit sharing ratio वो भी कुछ नहीं रहा, then it is equally, correct? If any one of them dies, then their legal representative along with the surviving partners will be liable to the money lender. If all of them die, then everybody's legal representative is going to be liable to the money lender, correct? Second situation, what has happened? Money lender, X has compelled A to make the payment. So A should or should not make the payment, should make the payment. How much amount? Entire 15 lakhs, correct? But what can X do? A do is A can claim contribution from B and C. है ना? Next case में what has happened? B has suffered some loss. So B has become insolvent. Two situations can happen. Nothing is recovered from B's property. That loss, matlab that contribution of B will be borne by A and C equally. If something can be recovered from B's property, then the balance loss will be borne by A and C equally. Correct? याद आ रहा है ना ये सब? Okay, next situation, what has X done? Release day. Two things will happen. Firstly, B and C are not released, and second, A who is so released also continues to be liable to B and C. Is this clear, everybody? These were the 5 points. Okay. Firstly, devolution means what? Passing over of liabilities. है ना? The same case, instead of ABC being ABC required to pay money to X, if suppose ABC have to receive money from X, who can receive it? Either A or B or C can receive it, and any one of them dies, then their legal representative along with the surviving partners can receive it from X, correct? So this was devolution of joint rights. First wala was joint liability, where ABC had to pay, and in case of right, they have got a right to receive. है ना? Who can demand performance of the contract? Promisee, correct? Agent or legal representative or even even any third person, third party, or even joint promisees. Correct? So who can make or what was it? What was the word here? Who can perform the contract was one side of the parties. Who can demand the performance was the other side of the parties. Correct? Any doubts here? Okay. Next one. Next topic altogether is what? Time and place for performance of the contract. At what time should a contract be performed? At what place it should be performed will be usually determined by the parties. But agar kuch bhi determined nahi hai, then these rules will apply. How many rules do we have? 5 rules. First rule is what? Where no application by the promisee is specified. So when should the contract be performed? Without application but within a reasonable time. Correct? Next one, where time is specified and no application is to be made, it should be performed on a certain day and when? During the usual hours of business. Correct? Next one, application for performance on a certain day and certain place. When should you perform it? On the certain day, but after application is made. Correct? And what time it should be performed? Again, usual hours of business. Right? And next one, whose duty it is for what? It is duty of the promisor to ask the promisee to appoint a reasonable place. And last case is what? Whatever, in the prescribed manner. So performance in the manner prescribed. How should it be performed? In the prescribed manner. Correct? ये सबका एक बार example सुनो. Then again I want you to read these points. So where we have called the kirana shop fellow and we told him we want 10 kgs of rice. We just tell him we want 10 kgs of rice. When should he send the rice? Within a reasonable time. And when he is sending it, he has to also send it in the usual hours of business. Correct? We tell him I want the rice tomorrow. Matlab day is decided. Correct? So tomorrow kaun se time pe he should send it? Within the usual hours of business. Hai na? We tell him we want the rice tomorrow, but we are expecting guests at home. We tell him after the guests, okay, before the guests come only you will tell him to send it. You know at what time the guests are coming, so you call him and tell him, abhi ye goods bhejo. So when should he send it? Tomorrow he will send it after you call him. Correct? This calling is what basically? Application, and day is decided. Again, can you call him at night 2 o'clock? No, you should also call him within usual hours of business. Today you enter into contract, Saturday party hai, you want the rice on Friday itself. You tell him send 20 kgs of rice on Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What should he do? Send it on Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is this okay? And read the points once again. Time and place of performance has got these 5 rules. First rule is where no application by the promisee is specified. Next case, time is specified but no application is to be made. Next one, application by the for performance on a certain day and place. Next one, by the promisor to the promisee to appoint a place. And last one, performance in a manner time prescribed or that is sanctioned by the promisee. Clear? So application means what? To ask. And where over here we are talking about time being specified, we are talking about the day being specified, the day being certain. Is this clear? Okay, the next topic that we have is reciprocal promise. Reciprocal promises means those promises which form consideration for each other. How many types do we have? 3 types. What are they? Mutual and independent, conditional and dependent, and mutual and concurrent. Mutual and independent promise means what? Each party has to perform their promise irrespective whether the other party has performed or not. Correct? Second one is conditional and dependent, where one party's performance depends upon prior performance of the other party. And last one, mutual and concurrent. These are to be performed simultaneously. Once again, what are the 3 types? Mutual and independent, conditional and dependent, and mutual and concurrent. Mutual and independent का example क्या है बोलो? Car. On 1st of September, the buyer has to pay 10 lakh rupees. On 15th September, what is going to happen? Seller is going to give the car, correct? When buyer is giving the money, is he getting the car at that time? No, but still should he perform his promise? Yes. Where the seller is giving the car on 15th, whether or not the buyer performs, the seller will have to perform his promise. Yes or no? Correct? So his performance also is not dependent on the buyer's performance. This is mutual and independent, right? If the seller tells, after you give money, after 15 days, I am going to give the car. So what kind of promise is this? This is conditional and dependent promise, correct? So where the buyer pays money on 1st, the car will be given on 15th. If buyer pays money on 10th, the car will be given on 25th, correct? So 15 din ke baad car is going to come. This is a dependent promise, right? Another example for conditional and dependent. Raw material supply is done by the owner, and who will construct the building then? The contractor will construct the building. If owner doesn't supply the raw material, can the contractor construct? No. So contractor's performance is dependent upon the prior performance of the owner. है ना? And last one is what? A cash sale, the mutual and concurrent. Cash sale, simultaneous performance. Jute do paise lo is also an example of mutual and concurrent promises, correct? With respect to reciprocal promises, we have these different rules. First rule specifies that simultaneous performance of reciprocal promise, where one person does not perform, the other person need not perform, correct? If you don't give money, is Tanishq showroom going to give you the ring? No. Cash sale, simultaneous performance, one doesn't perform, the other need not perform, correct? Another example we had seen, I think, cooler manufacturer and pump supplier. So pump supplier says, बहुत ज़्यादा demand है, बहुत ज़्यादा shortage भी चल रहा है, you want 1000 pumps, I will give it to you, provided you give me cash. So cooler manufacturer, only if he gives cash, he is going to get the pumps, correct? Next one is what? Order of performance of reciprocal promises. Where order is specified, promise to be performed in that order only. Where order is not specified, it is to be performed depending upon the nature of the transaction, correct? So what example did we see here? ICAI ka, okay. And recharge, prepaid and postpaid as well. So in prepaid, how does it work? First we will recharge, then we will use. In postpaid, how does it work? First we will use, after that we will pay, correct? Debit card, credit card, ICAI registration as well. Can you write the exam first and then register later? No, this is the order that is specified. You will have to follow that order, correct? Next one is what? Where one party prevents the other party from performance. Example, painting. I have called the painters to paint the classroom. I do not provide them the classroom only. Can they paint now? No, I have not provided them reasonable facility. Or in other words, I have prevented them from performing their promise. At their option, the contract is voidable. Along with this, what they can do is claim compensation. है ना? Next one, effect of default as to promise to be performed first. This applies in case of which type of reciprocal promise? Conditional and dependent reciprocal promise, where one does not perform, the other cannot perform, and in that case, what the other can do is claim compensation. है ना? Next one in a few minutes. Next one, agreement to do impossible act. क्या होगा यहाँ पर? Impossible act always is going to be void. Either it can be a pre-contractual impossibility or a post-contractual impossibility. Pre-contractual raha to it is void ab initio. Post-contractual mein it is a void contract. Correct? Reciprocal promises which involve certain things that are legal and under specified circumstances to do certain things that are illegal. Legal part will be valid, illegal part will be void. And next one, alternate promises, where one branch is legal, one branch is illegal. Legal part will be valid, illegal part will be void. Ye last unit mein tha na, already we discussed over there. Correct? The next topic, time as the essence of the contract. Means whenever we talk about time, we talk about two things. Time as to delivery of goods or time as to payment of price. When we just say time is the essence of the contract, means what? It is with respect to delivery of goods. Goods are considered the subject matter of the contract. They are considered more important for that contract, correct? Where the factory owner says, I want the goods in the morning, Monday morning at 10 o'clock. He's telling if you don't supply the goods, the laborers are going to sit idle. Matlab he's telling that time of performance is important. So what should the coal supplier do? Supply the coal on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. If the time is not followed, then at the option of the factory owner, this contract is voidable. And along with that, what he can do is claim damages. Okay, factory owner says, I want the coal on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. but I'm just getting it, safe side thoda advance mein. I have the coal sufficient for the laborers to work for the next 1-2 days. Over here, though he's telling Monday morning 10 o'clock, time is or not of the essence for the contract. It is not of the essence for the contract. So just in case the coal supply gets the coal on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, what can the factory owner do? Can he resign the contract? No. At the max, what he can do is, he can claim damages. Hai na? But when he wants to claim the damages, what should he do while accepting performance? He has to intimate it clearly. If he does not intimate, can he claim damages? Damages also cannot be claimed, correct? So as per our example, how do we know whether time is of the essence or not? It depends upon 3 things. First is intention of the parties. Next is terms and conditions of the contract. And last is nature of the transaction. Are all these 3 cases or conditions? They are all conditions. So goods involved agar hai, so they will be regarded provided all these 3 points are satisfied. But for sale of land, even if the parties intend to make time as the essence, even if the parties expressly agree that time should be of the essence, is time of the essence? No, because the nature of the transaction is such, correct? Now where time is not followed, it is voidable plus compensation can be claimed. But I told you practically, businessmen are very practical. उनको बहुत मेहनत करना पड़ेगा if they cancel the contract like this. So can they accommodate this delay as well? Yes, but if they are accommodating a delay, means are they rescinding the contract? No, but they will still have a right to claim the compensation, the damages. Is this clear, everybody? Yes? Okay. Next, very, very important, appropriation of payment. So in appropriation of payment, what has happened? Our debtor, he owes the several debts. And what does he do? He makes a payment which is not sufficient to discharge all of these debts. Towards which debt should the payment be appropriated? Depends upon these rules, correct? First we will see what? Whatever the debtor intimates, debtor बोल रहा है expressly, ये 2020 के debt के against adjust करो. Then what the creditor will have to do? Adjust it against 2020 debt, correct? Debtor does not intimate anything. See if the debtor indicates something. Debtor gives a check of 6666 rupees. Means what? Adjust it against the 2020 debt, correct? First debtor indicates, first debtor intimates, second debtor indicates. Otherwise, third at the discretion of the creditor. And अगर वो भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, then in the order of time, correct? This appropriation cannot be done towards an unlawful debt and a disputed debt, but appropriation can be done towards lawful debt, time-barred debt, and even an undisputed debt. Correct? Few extra points I told you. Principal and interest agar raha, first appropriation will be done towards interest, balance towards principal. If debts are of equal standing, then apply against, adjust against both of them. How? Proportionately. Correct? Creditor should intimate his appropriation to the debtor as well. See, debtor indicates or intimates. Agar ye nahi kiya, creditor can do it at his option, and whatever his option is, he also should intimate this to the debtor. In his mind, he thought, I will adjust it against 2020 debt. But before telling the debtor, he changed his mind, and now he is telling debtor, I'll appropriate it against 2018 debt. Can he do that? Yes. Before intimation to the debtor, can he change his appropriation? Yes, he can. Is this clear, everybody? Okay, next one is what? Ho gaya? Okay, contract that need not be performed. We read a few words, plus 2 more points, plus 1 sentence. What were those few words? Novation, rescission, alteration, remission, waiver, and merger. Iske alawa 2 more cases are what? Impossible and illegal, and 1 sentence is what? Where you prevent, where? Correct. Not providing reasonable facilities or preventing the performance of the contract. Correct? Novation वगैरह क्या है वो next unit में वापस एक बार बात करेंगे, ठीक है? And restitution in certain cases, we know this already. If a contract is voidable and a party resigns it, मतलब is he going to perform the contract now? No, any benefit that is obtained by the parties has to be restored back. In case of a void agreement, restitution Is not allowed. Not allowed means what? Is he liable or required to compensate the benefit? No. And in case of void contract, what will happen? Restitution is allowed. Restoration has to be done. है ना? Onion export के case में if advance is given, restitution has to be done. Minor takes the chocolates and is minor liable to pay the price? No. Is minor liable to return the chocolates back? Also no. In case of voidable, coercion के case में gunda under coercion made A to transfer his 5 crore house for 5 lakh rupees. So 5 lakh rupees should be returned by Mr. A. Gunda will return this house, correct? And whenever any rescission is done, should it be informed? या अपने mind में ही अपन resign कर रहे हैं. It should be informed. मतलब it has to be communicated, correct? Assignment of a contract means what? To transfer. Can you transfer liabilities? No, you cannot. Can I say my neighbor is so good, he will pay my rent from today? No, I cannot. Can I transfer liabilities? No, I can't. But there are two exceptions. First is in case of novation. A owes money to B, B owes to C. Now we are entering into a new contract where A is going to pay the money to C. So liability of B is transferred to A basically, correct? So in novation that is possible. Another exception is in case of agency. I give money to my neighbor and tell my neighbor when the landlord comes pay this rent. So in this case, even though neighbor is paying the rent, he is acting for me. He is my agent. Are you getting this? So can you transfer contractual liabilities? No. But innovation and agency are the exceptions. Can you transfer contractual rights? Yes, you can. Whatever right I have, I can transfer it to another person, and that other person will be called as the assignee. I will be called as an assigner. I have to receive 5,000 from Shahrukh. I transfer this right to my cousin. We make a deed called as assignment deed. I have right to receive. I am transferring this right to my cousin. My cousin is the assignee. Correct? Should I also inform the debtor? या शाहरुख को surprise रहेगा? Inform. Communicate this to the debtor. Is this okay? Now see, I have a right to receive this money. This is also called as an actionable claim. That claim on which an action can be taken. Action over here means two things. I can go to recover the money or I can even file a suit. है ना? So actionable claim can be transferred. Is this sentence clear? Yes. By operation of the law. Okay, sorry. This was all act of parties. By operation of law also can the assignment happen? Yes. Which can happen in these two cases. What are they? Death and insolvency. In case of death, rights and liabilities both are transferred to whom? Transferred to the legal heirs. And in case of insolvency, it is transferred to whom? To the official assignee. है ना? Can the insolvent say, I will keep the assets to myself, liability transfer karo? Can he tell like that? No. And in case of death, can we saw this as well? So when the father dies, his assets and liabilities are both transferred to the son. Son will be liable to pay how much amount? Only to the extent of the assets that are inherited by him. Correct? Son has got a lot of personal assets. Is he liable to pay all of that? No. Liabilities, यहाँ पर old man का liabilities is 1500 and assets are 1000 crores. When the liabilities are transferred to the son, how much will son be liable to pay? Only 1000 crores, even though he has his own 500 crores as well. Okay. What were the differences between succession and assignment? This also we saw, है ना? Assignment is done for rights, but law of succession will apply in case of death. Liabilities and assets both are transferred. That is like a whole package. But in assignment, you can transfer only the rights. Law of succession will apply from a deceased person to his legal representative. Assignment can be done by any person to any person. Assignment which is done voluntarily by the act of the parties is an assignment. But law of succession will apply where there is operation of law, correct? इसके अलावा I think few more points we had written. But is this clear? Assignment and succession also, is it clear? Yes or no? Unit 9 clear? Okay. Let's start. So discharge of a contract means what? Termination of a contractual relationship. Now, when the contract is discharged, the contract is discharged in how many cases? 6 cases. What are they? By performance, by mutual agreement, by impossibility, lapse of time, operation of law, and breach of a contract. So by performance also a contract is discharged in these two types of cases, which is actual performance and attempted performance. By mutual agreement, a contract can be discharged in how many ways? 6 ways. What are they? Novation, rescission, alteration, remission, waiver, merger, and bas itna hi. Okay, first one, novation. In a novation, a new contract is formed and in place of an old contract, correct? What about the parties? The parties may or may not change. And for novation, what is required is the consent, tripartite consent. So consent of all the parties is required. है ना? 2 examples I had given. What were they? First is ABC ka debt. A owes to B, B owes to C. Now a new contract is entered where A is going to pay the money to C, correct? Parties here are same or are different? They are different, correct? And next case was what? No, next example was what? Buyer buying a house. So he wanted to buy 2nd floor house, but later on now he is buying 3rd floor house. So which contract is discharged? 2nd floor house ka contract is discharged. What about the parties? Same or change? They are the same. They have not changed. But a new contract is formed, substituted in place of the old contract is discharged, right? Second is rescission. Rescission means what? Cancellation of the contract. Is any new contract formed? No. So where a party who has got a right to resign resigns the contract, rescission has happened, no new contract is formed, correct? And in certain cases, even where a party resigns the contract, he has got a right to even claim damages, correct? So agar breach of the contract hua hai, one party resigns, the other and the party who is resigning can also claim damages, correct? So ye kya tha yahan par? How can you resign? By consent of the parties or fails to perform. So right agar hai, breach hua hai, then in that case you can resign, hai na? Next case is what? Alteration. Alteration means what? Modifying the terms of the contract. Is a new contract formed? New contract, is it formed? Yes, it is. But old contract, is it fully discharged? No. But we'll not say this now because we are not treating 5 lakhs ka loan and another 5 lakhs ka loan as different. We are treating now as one and the same. So do you have to still repay your old 5 lakhs? Yes. Do you also have to repay your new 5 lakhs? Yes. Correct? So new contract is formed now again, which is 10 lakhs has to be repaid. Hai na? What is the difference between novation and alteration? In novation, parties may or may not change. In alteration, parties will not change, correct? The terms and conditions of the contract are modified. Again, is the consent of the parties required? Yes, it is. Hai na? Next one is what? Remission. Remission means 3 things. In our words, what were they? Accepting something less, accepting something else, giving an extension of time. Ye law ke words mein what is it? First one, accepting a lesser fulfillment for the promise. Second, accepting any other satisfaction in place of the instead of performance. And last one is what? Giving, extend the time of performance. So in all these cases you have remitted. And is remission also a valid contract? Yes, it is. Remission mein consideration kuch involved hai kya? No. I have to receive 1 lakh from my friend, instead I receive 80,000. I have remitted what? Remitted 20,000. Is this a valid contract? Yes. For not claiming 20,000, am I getting anything in return? No. But is this a valid contract? Yes, it is. Because we read it where? In exceptions to no consideration, no contract. Correct? Yaad aa raha hai? So that 1 lakh that I have to receive from my friend, if I receive 80,000, is it remission? Yes, it is. If I receive Activa and a laptop, is that also remission? Yes, it is. Instead of repayment on 1st May, he tells give me time till 1st June and I agree. Is this also remission? Yes, because I had a right to claim it on 1st May. Now I can claim it only on 1st June, correct? So giving an extension of time also is remission. Hai na? Then if a remission is done for the whole of the amount, then it will be called as a waiver. So waiver of part of the amount is remission. Remission for full amount is waiver. So waiver actually means abandonment of a right, correct? And last one is merger. In case of merger, what is happening? Inferior rights wala contract is merging with superior rights wala contract. So what comes to an end? Inferior rights ka contract comes to an end. I am a tenant, I pay rent and I buy that same house. Do I have to pay rent to myself? No. So inferior rights, matlab tenancy rights ka contract comes to an end, correct? Girlfriend becomes wife. Now she'll be called as the wife, because girlfriend के rights are inferior than wife के rights, है ना, याद आया? Okay, discharge by impossibility of performance, very 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 important. So there are two types of impossibilities. First is pre-contractual impossibility and next is post-contractual impossibility. Pre-contractual impossibility means that impossibility which exists at the time of entering into the contract. The effect of such a contract is that it is void ab initio. This initial impossibility, we can read it under these three heads. First is, it is known to the parties. Second, unknown to both the parties. And third, known to the promisor. First case में क्या है? It is void because essential element of impossibility is not being satisfied. In the second case, it is again void because of bilateral mistake. And third case में we are using different words here. We are telling that the promisor, the promisee can claim compensation. Correct? Next case is post-contractual impossibility. When does this impossibility arise? After the formation. So subsequent to the formation of the contract, and that's why it is also called as doctrine of supervening impossibility or doctrine of frustration. The effect of this is that contract becomes void. Correct? In these 5 cases, the contract becomes void. First case is destruction of the subject matter. Next, non-existence or non-occurrence of particular state of things. Next, death, incapacity or illness for personal service. Then change of law, and last one, outbreak of war. First वाले का example क्या था? Destruction of subject matter. Crops example. Buyer agreed to purchase all the crops. The crops क्या हो गया? आग लग गई field में. What about this contract now? It has become void. है ना? Next one is what? Two things. Non-existence or non-occurrence. So two examples were, first is marriage and next is king का coronation का hotel room वाला example, right? So A agrees on 1st May. A and B agree to get married on 15th August. Is that okay? Yes, but on 14th August, what happens to A? A becomes mad. Why? Because of marriage. No, happiness. खुशी से पागल हो गया है. Do we care about the reason? No. So A has become insane now. So can they get married on 15? No. When they entered into contract, was it valid? Yes, but certain contracts require a continued existence of certain state of things. Agar wo nahi hua, then the contract is void. Correct? Are you getting this? Next one is what? Next example. Sorry, for here only. Non-occurrence. A booked a hotel room. Why? To view the coronation of the king. King fell ill, coronation was cancelled. So hotel room ka contract also is cancelled now. It becomes void. Hai na? So sometimes where conditions are attached to a contract, if the conditions fail, the contract also fails. The contract becomes void. Clear? Next one is what? Death or incapacity or illness for personal service. A agreed to perform in a concert, and before that concert A dies. What about it? The contract is void. A is incompetent to perform now. Again, contract becomes void and A falls ill. The contract becomes void again. Correct? If suppose the party, in some time. Next one, change of law. We know this. Export of onions is banned. So can you send the onions now? No. And last, outbreak of war. That person becomes alien enemy. So the contract also becomes void. Correct? So once again, in these 5 cases, the contracts become void is first is destruction of subject matter. Then non-existence, non-occurrence of particular state of things. Then death, incapacity or illness for personal service. Next, change of law, and last is outbreak of war. Correct? Now in these cases, since the contract becomes void, restitution is allowed or not allowed? Restitution is allowed. Correct? If he had received the advance for 600 kgs of onions which he could not send, what he has to do is give it back. A could not dance and A had received an advance of 5 lakh rupees. What about 5 lakh rupees? That also has to be returned back. But since the contract is not performed, can the other party claim damages? No. So where a contract is discharged based on the grounds of supervening impossibility or frustration, damages cannot be claimed. Correct? Just because you are using the word impossible in a contract Does it actually make the performance impossible? No. So we have to distinguish between impossibility and difficulty. Agar difficult hai, should you still perform the contract? Yes. And if you don't perform, since the contract is valid, and if you don't perform it, what the aggrieved party can do? He can claim damages. So in these next 5 cases, we are seeing it is difficulty in performance. It is not regarded as an impossibility. So impossibility is not an excuse every time, correct? Also we can say that these 5 are exception to the above rule that we just saw, where a contract becomes void. What are those 5 cases? First is difficulty of performance. Next is commercial impossibility. Next, impossibility due to failure of a third person. Then strikes, lockouts and civil disturbances, and failure of one of the object. Difficulty ka example, first one, groundnut export from Egypt to Germany could not be done through the shortcut, which is Suez Canal. So Egypt said it is not possible to supply. Is this contract void? No, this contract is valid. Shortcut clause hai, long cut to available hai. So what should Egypt do? Send the goods as agreed, correct? This is just a difficulty in performance. It is not impossibility, right? Next case is what? Commercial impossibility. Commercial impossibility means what? Where you are not realizing the profit that you had expected just because of some reason like raw material price increase or anything. Can you make the contract void? No. Example is what? Sofa ka sale. Buyer seller agree for 20,000 rupees. After 1 month the seller says I can't sell at 20. Raw material price has increased. Labor charges have increased. Now the contract is impossible to perform at 20,000. I can sell it only at 60. Is this a valid reason? No, because it is commercial impossibility. So what will the seller have to do? Sell it for 20 even if he does not make a profit. Hai na? Next one is what? Impossibility due to failure of a third person. Example? Gold wala example. Gold necklace. This seller enters into contract with customer. But for making that necklace, he takes the gold from his friend's shop. Friend ka shop closed hai. Should he still perform his contract? Yes, he should. What should he do? Market se le bhai. Just because you are relying on another person and that other person is not able to perform the contract, this contract will not become void. It is not impossible, hai na? So they can give something like this. It is impossible to open the shop and purchase the gold now. Is this a valid reason for impossibility? No. Next one is what? Strikes, lockouts and civil disturbances. So band in that area or in that city, strikes in the factory, lockouts in the factory, all of these are reasons where the sending of the goods cannot be done. But does the contract become void? No, but there is an exception. That is, what's the exception? Where the parties specifically agree that it will become void while they are entering into a contract. Then in case of strikes and lockouts, the contract will become void. Otherwise, it will remain valid. Correct? See, you can't write this as the reason. Strikes are not in the hands of the parties, but strikes have happened, so contract has become void. This is not valid. It will be void only if the parties specifically agree. If they have not agreed, will the contract remain valid? Yes, road band hai, goods send karne ka koi chance hi nahi hai. Can the other party still resign claim damages? Yes, he can. That is the meaning of void, hai na? That is the meaning of valid. And last one is what? Failure of one of the object. What was the example? Island visit and view the navy show for coronation of the king. Coronation cancel hua tha, navy show also was cancelled. Is this whole contract also cancelled? No, because this contract had 2 objects. First was viewing the island and visiting the island, and second was viewing the navy show. Just because one of the objects is not able to perform, cannot be performed, does not mean the whole contract becomes void, right? So a broader head for all these 5 points is that it is a difficulty, it is not an impossibility. Once again, 5 cases where supervening impossibility is attracted, where the contract becomes void. First case, destruction of subject matter, non-existence, non-occurrence of particular state of things. Next, death, incapacity or illness for personal service. Then change of law, and last one, outbreak of war. Is every difficulty and impossibility? No. So in these 5 cases, is the contract discharged? No. है ना? First 5 cases में is the contract discharge? Yes, these 5 cases contract is not discharged, which is what? First is difficulty of performance, then commercial impossibility, then impossibility due to failure of third person, strikes, lockouts and civil disturbances, and last one, failure of one of the objects. Okay, next one very simple. Discharge by lapse of time will happen when law of limitation act says monetary transactions how many years? 3 years. मतलब 3 years अगर खत्म हो गया तो debt is not legally enforceable anymore. Correct? If it is a cash sale, 3 years will begin from the date of delivery of goods. Correct? And if it is a credit sale, it will begin from after the expiry of the credit period. Even though contract was entered into on 1st of May, payment should have been done on 1st June. So credit period will begin from, sorry, not credit period. 3 years will begin from 1st June. Agar default hua hai, then it will begin from that date. Correct? Then what else? Bas. Discharge by operation of law happens in how many cases? 4 cases. What are they? By death, by insolvency, by unauthorized alteration and written contract, and identity of promisor and promisee becoming one. Where a person dies, if it's a contract of a personal skill, that contract is discharged. Can it be devolved upon legal representatives? No. Next one, insolvency में क्या होता है? All the assets, liabilities of the insolvent person are transferred to official assignee. So insolvent person is now discharged. Correct? Next one is unauthorized alteration. Any alteration that is made requires consent of the parties. Correct? Material alteration raha, so definitely it requires consent, and the parties who do not consent are discharged, means they will no more be held liable. Correct? And last one is what? Where the promisor and promisee become the same person. So why do we do this? Why are we discharging the contract? To avoid circuity of action. Remember, negotiable instrument ka example I had given, hai na? You file a suit on me, I will file a suit on you. Correct? So where the person who is transferring the right, the person who is transferring his right to receive the money, he himself becomes the person who has got an obligation to pay. He cannot take out money from one pocket and put in another. So the contract itself is discharged. Yaad hai na example? Okay, last one is what? Discharge by breach of the contract. Breach means what? Breaking of the obligation. Contract creates obligations, and where a party does not fulfill his obligations, what has happened to the contract? Breach has happened. Correct? And whenever breach happens, the other party will also have a right to claim damages. What are the, not just one damages, he can also claim other, he has got other remedies as well, which we are seeing in the next chapter, hai na? So other than damages, other remedies are available. But okay, let's talk about breach here. Breach is of 2 types. First is actual breach, next is anticipatory breach. Actual breach happens in these 2 cases. First is on the due date and during the performance of the contract. Correct? 1st August ko they have agreed that on 31st August sugar will be sold. Hai na? Yahi tha na? Correct? Where the breach happens on 31st of August. What breach is this? Actual breach, because this is the date of performance. Correct? Or else another case as well. They have agreed on 30th August 50 kgs of sugar will be sold. On 30th September 50 kgs of sugar. 30th August ko perform kiya, 30th September ko nahi kiya. This also will be actual breach. Agar 30th August ko bhi nahi kiya, then this also is going to be an actual breach. Correct? So 2 ways actual breach can happen. Either it is on the due date or during the performance. Actual breach again can be express or implied. So seller is telling expressly, I can't sell it, or else he does something because of which selling it becomes impossible now. Okay? And again the same thing. Next one, anticipatory breach is what? That breach that is happening when? Before the due date. So due date means the date where performance is due. Before that, if the breach happens, it is an anticipatory breach. It can happen in these 2 ways. Firstly, again, expressly renouncing that he cannot perform it, or second is by doing an act where the performance becomes impossible. A has promised to marry B on 31st of August. On 10th of August, A gets married to C. Where A gets married to C, can he get married to B again? No. But did he tell B that he cannot marry? No. But by his conduct, he has disabled himself from marrying. This is also an anticipatory breach, correct? 1st August they have entered into a contract, sugar supply to be done on 31st August. 10th August ke din seller, can he expressly tell, sorry, I can't supply the sugar? Yes, and if he does so, then it is what type of a breach? Anticipatory breach, correct? Now, where an anticipatory breach happens, this aggrieved party has got how many options? Two options that he can do is, firstly, resign the contract and claim damages, or second is what? Wait till the due date. If he is resigning immediately, he can claim the damages. What will be the damages? Market price on that day minus contract price. If he is waiting till when? Till the due date. So on the due date, these three things can happen. First is supervening impossibility. In case of supervening impossibility, the contract will be discharged. है ना? What are the damages that he can claim? Nothing. Buyer cannot claim any damages. Correct? This we are taking as an example that the seller has committed a breach. So can the buyer claim damages in supervening impossibility? No. Second case, what has happened? The seller performs. Seller 10th ko bola tha he will not perform, but on 31st what he is doing? Performing. What should the buyer do now? Buyer is bound to accept it. Buyer says, no bhai, don't perform, it's okay, I will claim damages. Can he do that? No, buyer is bound to accept it. And third situation, the seller does not perform. He told he'll not perform, he is not performing right now as well. What can the buyer do then? He can claim damages. What will be the damages? Market price on that day minus contract price. So see, simple to remember, whichever day we are, take the market price on that day. जिस दिन anticipatory breach हुआ है 10th August को, if you are claiming damages, take market price on 10th August. If we are waiting and we are going till 31st August, then take the market price on 31st of August, correct? So what is the measure of damages? Market price prevailing on that day minus contract price. Is this clear? Yes. Is there anything else here? Done? Okay. Remedies for breach of a contract. So whenever there is a right, there is a remedy. Contract creates legal obligation. If the legal obligations are not followed, a party has done a breach. If this party does a breach, the other party will have a right and he will have a remedy. How many remedies will that party will have? 5 remedies. What are they? Rescission of the contract, suit for damages, then suit for quantum merit, then suit for specific performance and suit for injunction. What do you mean by rescission of the contract? Right to cancel that contract. Where he cancels that contract, what he will have to do if he has taken any benefit? Restore these benefits. Not only restore the benefit, he has got an additional right. That right is to claim compensation, claim damages. So basically, ये जो 5 rights है, can you exercise only one right at a time? Can you exercise more than one as well? Yes, if it is applicable for your case, definitely you can exercise more than one. है ना? Court will refuse to resign the contract in these 3 cases. First case is where the subject matter is destroyed. Second, where the third party has acquired rights, and where that party accepts any benefit under the contract. Now, later on, he cannot resign the contract. Correct? Next one is suit for damages. What do you mean by damage? The loss that is caused to the injured party. What do you mean by damages? The monetary compensation that are awarded by the court. Losses only if there is a damage, there will be damages. If there is no damage, then there are no damages. Seller agreed to sell the car for 5 lakhs to the buyer. The buyer does a breach. Now seller sells it to somebody else for 4 lakh rupees. The damages that the seller can claim from the buyer is 1 lakh, correct? If the seller sells the same car to another person for 7 lakh rupees, what are the damages that can be claimed from the buyer? Nothing. Why nothing? Because there is no loss that is caused to the party. So if there is no damage, there will be no damages. In civil law, what is the object of awarding damages? To compensate the other party or to put him in a position as if the breach has not occurred or the performance has happened, correct? The contract is performed, right? Under criminal law, what is the intention of awarding damage? Punishment. In civil law, there is no punishment, there is only compensation. We have different types of damages. The most important types of damages Damages are of two types, that is ordinary damages and special damages. Ordinary damages are those damages which can be recoverable or which arise in the ordinary natural course of the business, correct? So अगर वो breach हुआ है, what is the compensation or the loss that is likely to arise because of that breach directly can be claimed as ordinary damages, है ना? Ordinary damages claim करने के लिए do you have to tell the other party that I am going to claim it? No. Even if it is not in their contemplation, can you still claim it? Yes. Any damages for any remote or indirect loss, can that be claimed? No. So indirect loss you cannot claim. Direct loss, can you claim it? Yes. Special damages are those damages which are in contemplation of the parties, which the parties are aware of, which is in their knowledge that in case this happens, these will be the damages. So basically, special damages are said to arise in unusual circumstances. Loss of profit is what? Is a special damage. The wages or the rent is what? Will be ordinary damages, correct? So can special damages be recovered? Agar aisa sentence hai, then can you recover it? Yes, but they will have to be in contemplation of the parties. Clear? Other type of damages also we have. Vindictive, also called as exemplary damages, also called as punitive damages. These are the damages which can be claimed only in two cases. First is breach of contract to marry, and second is wrongful dishonor of the check by the banker even when the customer possesses sufficient funds, correct? How are these damages? Are they jitna damage hua hai utne damages? No. These are what? Where is that word? Disproportionate, not written. Okay. These are disproportionate to the loss that is caused, correct? Can you claim vindictive damages in any other circumstances where you are telling damages are disproportionate? No. It will arise only in these two cases. Clear? The next type of damages are nominal damages, where the plaintiff has proved his point. He has proved that the breach of the contract has happened. But did he suffer any real damage? No. So if he has not suffered any damage, damages will not be awarded. So just to prove that he has won, court can award a nominal amount, maybe 1 rupee or 11 rupees as the damages, correct? So here basically he has proved his point and he has won the case, correct? So this is to establish his right to decree. You know? He has got a right to go to the court. This is just to prove that he has got a right to go to the court and he was right. He has won the case. Clear? Next one is damages for deterioration caused by delay. These damages you are claiming only for delay and only from the carrier, correct? So even without giving any notice to him, you can claim this deterioration. You can claim two types of deteriorations. First is for physical damage and second is even any loss of opportunity for sale, correct? Next one, very important, liquidated damages and penalty. We had by-hearted a few sentences. First is what? Both these amounts are specified when at the time of entering into a contract, and this is a certain specified sum, correct? This sum can either be liquidated damages or it can be penalty. If it is liquidated damages, means first point, it is the sum that is fixed or ascertained by the parties. Second point, it is a fair and genuine pre-estimate of the probable loss that might result because of the breach. Next one, it is an assessment of the amount which in the opinion of the parties is to compensate for the breach. And last point, this clause is effective and this amount is recoverable. Penalty ke 4 by-hearted sentences again are what? First is fixed and ascertained by the parties. Next is it is disproportionate to the damage. Next is it is without any regard to the probable loss. And last point, it is unreasonable. And why is it used? To make the other party perform that contract, correct? So example for this was what? Builder and the buyer. So builder says, today they have entered into a contract in 2025. The builder says he'll deliver the house on 31st December 2027. This buyer says, okay, I'm ready if you deliver it at that time. But since I stay in my own house right now, I will have to sell my house to purchase this house. So I will have to leave that house. And if you don't give this house, then I will have to go and stay in a rented house. For staying in a rented house, I will incur an expenditure of 20,000 rupees. So today in 2025, they are entering into a contract कि if the delivery is not made on 31st December 27, you will pay 20,000 rupees per month. They are fixing the amount right now itself. This will be liquidated damages. If they say that in case you don't perform, matlab in case you don't deliver the house, you will have to pay 2 lakh rupees. 2 lakh, is it with respect to a loss that might occur? No, it is an unreasonable amount and it can be in the nature of penalty. In England, there is a strict distinction between liquidated damages and penalty. So in England, 20,000 will be liquidated damages, 1,80,000 will be penalty. In India, do we have a separate distinction? No. So what will court award is reasonable compensation, correct? So in our case, court may award 20,000 as rent, 2,000 as maintenance, 2,000 as parking expenditure as well, correct? But in any case, when court is awarding, court cannot go more than 2 lakh rupees, hai na? So if this fellow stays in a rented house of 5 lakh rupees, court will maximum give an award only for 2 lakh rupees because that was the amount that was fixed by the parties, correct? So see that sentence also, courts in India will allow a reasonable compensation not exceeding the sum mentioned by the parties. Clear? Liquidated damages and penalty, they are similarity is both are fixed, both are payable, but there are various differences. Exact meaning ke hi differences hai. Other than that, we have just one more additional point, that whether see what is the expression that is used in the contract. Even when you are calling it as liquidated damages, it can still be a penalty. So we should not get carried away by the wordings, correct? We should see what is the meaning of these amounts, right? Baki pura to exact same, hai na? Okay, mitigation of damages means what? Reducing the damages. It is the duty of the injured party to take all reasonable steps and reduce the damage as much as possible, hai na? If suppose he does not reduce it, can he claim compensation for that which could have been avoided? He cannot claim. Are you getting this sentence? Yes? Okay. And next one is what? Cost of decree. Cost of decree means cost to file the suit and to get that judgment. Court expenses, lawyer expenses, documentation charges, etc. Can that also be recovered by the party? Yes. Is it a right of a party to recover it? No. It will be only at the discretion of the court. Correct? वो State Bank का example I had given, remember? Okay. Next one, quantum merit. Next remedy altogether. Quantum merit के 3 by-hearted sentences. First one is, quantum merit means as much as earned or as much as deserved or merited. Next one, right to quantum merit means right to sue on the work which is already done. And next one, this does not arise because of a contract. It arises because it is conferred by law and hence it is quasi-contractual in nature. Correct? So damages are compensatory, quantum merit is restitutory. Okay, anyway. Quantum merit arises in how many cases? 5 cases. First case is where there is a breach of the contract. Next, where an agreement is discovered to be void. Then, something has been done non-gratuitously. Then, work has been done by the person who is guilty of breaking the contract. Last one, indivisible contract is performed fully, but it is performed badly. Correct? First wala case where there is a breach of contract. Example, author and the editor. So the story was agreed to be published in 10 episodes. Correct? 2,000 rupees per episode was fixed. After 2 episodes are published, this editor commits a breach. So now, should the author get the payment for 2 episodes? Yes. Who is the party who has done the work? Author. Who is the person who has done the breach? The editor. Editor has to compensate that author. Correct? Second case was where an agreement is discovered to be void. In the articles it was given that for appointment of the managing director, shareholders have to pass a resolution. Shareholders have to authorize it. But who appointed the MD? The board of directors appointed. Ye point pata chala after 5 months. 5 months ke liye should the MD get his remuneration, his salary? Yes, because this is an agreement which was discovered to be void. Correct? So after onion expert example as well, 400 kgs are sent already. Now because of change of law, can they be sent? No. So for 400 kgs, should he get the payment? Yes, because agreement was discovered to be void. Clear? Next one, where something has been done non-gratuitously. So mango basket example, his intention was to receive consideration. You will have to pay it where you've taken the benefit. Correct? Next one is what? Work is done By whom? By the person who is guilty of breaking this contract. So, two types over here we will see, whether contract is divisible or it is indivisible. So, builder agreed to construct the house. First case, they have agreed to construct ground floor for 30 lakhs and first floor for 20 lakhs. This is a separate divisible contract. Ground floor construct करने के बाद the builder does a breach. Should he get the payment? Yes. In our example, we are talking about 30 lakhs. What does court say? He should get how much? Reasonable compensation. Correct? Whole house was to be constructed. Ground floor and first floor was to be constructed for 40 lakh rupees. He constructs a part. A ground floor he constructs and he stops. Should he get any compensation? No. Why? Because the performance in entirety was required to be done to claim compensation. So even if he has done the work worth 15 lakh rupees, does he have a right to claim anything? No, he cannot claim any payment for the work done because this contract was indivisible. है ना? What's the difference between this point and author and editor example? Author had done the work, editor had done the breach. Here, builder only has done the work, builder only has done the breach. So, where the person who does the work is the person who does the breach, we will see whether the contract is divisible or it is indivisible. Clear? In case divisible, reasonable compensation can be claimed. In case indivisible, then he cannot claim anything. Right? And last one, indivisible contract is performed but badly. So, architect 1 के साथ, interior designer 1 के साथ, they have entered into a contract for renovating the house. 2 lakh is the lump sum to be fixed. कुछ तो faulty काम किया है ये designer, because of which this fellow ends up spending 50,000 more. So, as a matter of fact, that interior designer first wala, he can claim how much? He can claim 2 lakhs. But what can this person do? Deduct 50,000. है ना? So, he can claim the lump sum for the work performed. But the other party also can claim a deduction for the bad work. Right? So, quantum merit arises in how many cases once again? 5 cases. First case is what? Where? Breach of contract. Next one, discovered to be void. Next one, non-gratuitous act. Next, work is done and person is guilty of breaking the contract. Here, divisible and indivisible. And last one, indivisible work is performed fully but badly. Correct? Then next one, next remedy available is a suit for specific performance of the contract. This remedy is available only at the discretion of the court. Correct? This remedy will be available where damages are not an adequate relief, where it is not possible to ascertain the damages and it is not possible to get the compensation in money, and specific performance will be awarded where the goods have got no substitutes, where they are rare, where they are unique. Correct? So, goods agar rare ya unique hai, then specific performance will be awarded. But in these cases, specific performance will never be awarded, and those cases are damages are an adequate relief where contract is uncertain or it is unequitable. Correct? Next one, where the contract is of a personal nature. Next, where any of the party is incompetent to contract, where a company is making a contract in excess of its powers, means it is incompetent. And last one is where the court cannot supervise its carrying out. Correct? Heroine के mom का role का, that heroine who agreed to play the role, the court wants the, after that she said she is not going to play it. Can the producers get her to perform that role because she had promised it? They cannot. Why? Because it is a contract of personal nature. Clear? Last one is what? Suit for an injunction. Injunction is a preventive relief. You are stopping the person from committing a breach. है ना? So indirectly you are securing the negative terms in the contract. Correct? If that heroine would have signed the film, she would have what? She would have done the breach, because with Warner Brothers she entered into contract that she will not sign it. उनको जब पता चला she is going to sign it, what can they do? Is get an injunction order. Is this clear? So you are stopping the person from committing a breach. Fine? Simple?